Stocks will be in focus today following President-elect Donald Trump's comments on drug pricing and the foreign manufacturing. Says will create new drug bidding procedure. Ekta is here to tell us what this means for the pharma industry. Well, Ekta, the pharma industry has already been battered because of just tweets by Donald Trump. Here is some more. What did he say yesterday and what does it mean?
Well, actually, a lot of the CEOs that I've been speaking to, as well as what, for example, the Mylan CEO said at the JP Morgan conference, which is taking place in San Francisco, actually said that we really need to wait and see what Trump actually means by these comments. While his comments said that, for example, that pharma companies are in fact getting away with murder, there was nothing really substantive in terms of a step that he's taking proactively at this point in time in order to probably change the drug pricing scenario. But what the implication could probably mean, or what pharma companies are probably seeing in terms of what could change within the pharma industry in the US is, for example, the veterans, basically they don't really bid for drugs in the US markets. There are agencies which really provide these drugs, and that is a government contract. Remember that the Veterans Army basically buys around 15% of all generics in the US markets at this point in time. It's a huge market, but it is a government contract, and hence there is no bidding which takes place right now. Maybe that could turn into bidding, and that the lowest generic company could possibly get the biggest bid in terms of Veteran Army. That could be one implication of what he's saying. And secondly, Medicare. Medicare is the biggest purchaser of drugs and medical services in the US. There is a likelihood that Medicare could go ahead and start negotiating directly with drug prices or with drug companies for innovative drugs as well as for generic drugs to procure those drugs at the lowest cost possible, because when they have to give it to their consumer, who is covered by insurance under Medicare, the consumer really doesn't have to pay for the prices. It's Medicare which has to. And hence, procuring the drugs at the lowest price and the most efficient manner will be something that Medicare could possibly do going forward. This is on the cards already, so it won't really be a surprise coming through. A lot of the pharma companies are expecting this to possibly happen, and generic drug prices could possibly go lower. Innovative drug prices could possibly go lower. Maybe it could become a volume game for a lot of Indian pharma companies. They'll probably get more volumes. But again, it points to the fact that lower prices and a lower pricing scenario in the US is probably going to be the biggest theme that we're going to see in 2017. We saw it in 2016. It's going to continue into 2017.
Thank you, Ekta. What about other stocks that we need to